Hello and welcome to Duckwells, an online treasure trove of antique and vintage gems. You can find the link in the description box below. My name is Laura, and I'm excited to share a peek into what's fresh and exciting in the shop. I love this first piece. It's a great looking Art Deco Zorro type figurine. The original decanter was made by Wedgwood and it held Sandeman whiskey. You can see the great Wedgwood markings on the bottom. It's in the moonstone finish, which is a nice matte. The decanter has its original Scotch label on the back, which I prefer it with the label off, but I left it on because it has some good information. You can see that it's possibly mid-century or a bit older. Nice condition for its age, great shelf look, great styling. Nice collectible. This is a fantastic antique French World War I trench art vase pair. The handwork vases were created by soldiers during their downtime between battles by decorating brass artillery shells and turning them into various decorative objects. These vases have a matching set of floral design in the Art Nouveau style. Great period vases with the proper markings on the bottom to identify the artillery shells. These vases were purchased in a Paris flea market this past spring and bring a beautiful piece of history into your home. Speaking of history, this is a pair of antique old Ironsides bookends. The pair of bookends was created from the material that was taken from the USS Constitution in 1927. The USS Constitution was undergoing a major restoration, and the US Congress had approved using salvaged materials to create products to raise funds for the project. The shipwheel bookends feature a center relief created from the copper sheathing that clad the wood hull. The bases are lead weighted from the magazine lining. The center relief includes the image of the ship with a text that includes the various battles that it had undergone throughout the centuries. The bookends are in wonderful condition with their original patina. They're a bit wobbly because they feature this protruding copper piece that was original to the design that adjusts itself to the weight of the books. Very interesting. This is an amazing find from a beloved ship, the oldest U.S. warship still afloat, still docked at the Charlestown Navy Yard in Massachusetts. Here's another interesting piece of U.S. history. A cool vintage TV antenna. With nice atomic styling, the Bakelite rabbit ears are on a cast iron base. The tips look like little planets. A nice mid-century relic would be great next to your flat screen television. It's sold in non-working condition, however, it does have its original wiring, so you could have at it and see if you can get anything going. It could be used for over-the-air channels. Back in the olden days, we just called them channels, and this is how we saw pictures on our televisions. These rabbit ears actually extend really tall, 18.5 inches, and they span very wide, which kind of shows you how difficult it was to actually get stations to come in using your rabbit ears. There was lots of finagling, usually by the children of the house. I can remember having to stand and deal with the rabbit ears for my father and my grandfather. It's a great piece of television history and would look so fun in your mid-century decor. I'm always trying to find unique and interesting items to add to the shop, so I'm excited to bring this antique miniature photograph album. The circa 1800s fairy album is filled with gem tintype portraits. The leather-bound embossed album has 12 pages with 22 portraits. All have a gold decorative border surrounding each portrait. Quite lovely to see, as you can see right here. Just beautiful. The leather red embossed cover is in very good antique condition. The brass latch keeps the album secure. The album measures a tiny 1 7/8 inches tall by 1 3/4 inches wide by 3/4 inches deep. This is a fantastic collectible for anyone who appreciates old time photographs or for the photography enthusiast. I don't think I've had many key rings in the shop, but this one really speaks to me. I think that burrow is adorable. This key ring is a Victoria sterling silver key ring from Taxco, Mexico, circa 1950s, 1960s, and it's well marked on reverse. It's a nice mid-century silver collectible. It measures approximately 3 inches tall, including the secure key ring. Duckwells has a nice assortment of tins. Two additions to the store this month are the Chesterfield cigarette tins and also Lucky Strike cigarettes. Both have great graphics. One still has its tax stamp. There it is on the right-hand side. These just are great collectibles, and there's a wide assortment in the shop currently. I just love these old German souvenirs. This white porcelain souvenir is from the turn of the century, early 1900s, pre-World War I, and it is from Peterborough, New Hampshire. The main graphic is of the Peterborough Town Library, the first public library supported by taxation in the United States. And the library is still there today. This is a lovely picture in fantastic condition for its age, and is a nice souvenir of the charming Monadnock region town. Added to the shop are a few pieces of mid-century Russell Wright dinnerware. This dinnerware was created all the way back 1939 to 1959 in the American modern pattern, made by various potters, but this particular collection is from Steubenville. There's an oval serving dish with great design. You can see it here with those curved sides, just beautiful. There's actually a larger version also of the same bowl, so it just looked great on the table. There's some coffee cups included and a gravy boat. And this is all in addition to a few serving platters in other colors that are also available in the shop. What a great mid-century modern design. Just love these souvenir glasses. These are from 1950s, 1960s, and this one is one of the more spectacular examples. It's by the designer Gay Fad, who was a premier artist of her day making these graphics for these souvenirs. Just love this one. It's always fun when I can add a piece of Dorchester pottery to the shop. This pottery was made up until the 1970s in the Dorchester section of Boston and is well known for its blue and beige pottery. This is a charming example. This is such a pretty mid-century Japanese cup and saucer set made of Moriage porcelain with really unusual coloring with the gray base and the colorful Moriage with a gold trimmed handle that's quite unusual also. Just a charming little collectible from Japan. These charming wooden souvenir salt and pepper shakers are from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. I just love the mid-century lantern style. They're wood. The tops come off to add the salt and pepper, and they even have a tiny map of the area on one side of the lanterns. Really charming, great collectible. Added to the store is a nice collection of Art Deco peanut butter jars, which make for great decoration and actually are still usable with their original metal lids. The lids are screw-on tight, and the labels are from the Finest Grocery Store, which was a chain that was originally located in Somerville, Massachusetts, was the corporate office, and I think it was an East Coast grocery chain. These glass jars are from the 1950s, and I did find the patent for them, which I believe was issued in the late 1940s. This is an interesting example of a lid that has an advertisement for the Solo cup. Yes, the red Solo cup, I guess used to be orange. I don't really know. But I have one of these. I just think it's interesting how they would add promotions to the actual jars at that time period. This is another peanut butter jar with advertising top for Planters peanuts. There it is. So Mr. Peanut in all of his glory. These jars are in very good vintage condition with no chips or cracks and would be perfect for making yourself a vintage pantry. Speaking of glass, this is an old Boston brand. I believe it's a rum bottle, and boy, I love it. It is embossed all over, front and back, with nice graphics of the Boston area. And it also has its prohibition label, which, not label, but the embossing, which is always fun to find. A great collectible of a mid-century, maybe a little earlier, liquor bottle. I was traveling up in Maine and saw this set of 3 figures and knew that they had to come home with me to be added to the shop. The 3 wooden figures are of a fireman, a postal worker, and a milkman. They're a black graphic with just an amazing period look to them, and on really thick wood, almost 1.25 inches, giving them a real hefty look. I just think they're fantastic, and I hope you do too. Here's a romantic pair of mid-century butane candles by Ronson. In their original box, the taper candlesticks feature silver-toned metal with shiny atomic stars. There they are. So great. They're in good condition, and I don't know that they've ever been used. I also didn't check to see if they work. You fill them in with butane like you would a lighter. They don't seem that safe to me, but it would be a buyer's choice whether or not to use them. They look great unlit, however, and would add such a great statement to your mid-century dining table. Don't you just love these plastic cupcake toppers? From the mid-century, the clown toppers are very cheery. Actually, I didn't even notice that they were red and green, so they could be for Christmas if you choose, but they also would make great birthday cupcake toppers. There are quite a few cigarette lighters available at Duckwells, and a few additions to the shop include this antique Fay Manufacturing lift arm from the 1920s. This is a desktop model or a tabletop lighter and quite striking in its appearance. All of the lighters are sold non-working condition and are untested. They won't be sold with lighter fluid, etc. It's too dangerous to ship and against the law. Here we have a mid-century atomic star etched into a really cool looking lighter, probably late 1950s, early 1960s, but still in remarkable condition. Look at the finish on this lighter. I'm pretty impressed by the whole thing. And let's see, we also have another Fay lighter. This lighter is from the 1930s. It's a lift arm Bakelite lighter. It is considered a pocket lighter, and it was patented by Fay CEO Henry Schiff in 1928. Interesting unmarked brass and Bakelite. The Bakelite has the swirls all around, and I did think that was a flaw and perhaps got beat up in a pocket, etc. However, I saw other models with the same design, so it was intentional. Really cool, interesting pocket lighter. Here's a 1950s Viewmaster made by Sawyer in Portland, Oregon. This Model C viewer, it's made of black Bakelite and has such a cool look. Look at that. This is actually a set with its original container, which is also a type of Bakelite, and it comes with the reels, and the reels are some of the older reels, which is great as a collectible. They are 3D photographs, and they were incredibly popular even when I was a child. I had a Viewmaster. So this is one of the earlier sets. Really great look, really great collectible. Also in the shop is another viewer, which is called the True View. Not as popular, not as well known, but also has just a great shelf look. I don't have any reels with this, but they are available out there. At Duckwells, you'll find a wide assortment of books at any given time, including first editions, antique books, vintage, and even some children's books, as you can see here. Donald Duck, always a classic. The assortment of books ranges quite widely, including some soft covers that you can see here that have great illustrations in them. We have a classic here from Owen Wister, a great friend of Theodore Roosevelt. This is also a book by him that is beautifully illustrated. These are just fun editions of early 1900s books. Then we pivot a bit to the 1970s to one of the first editions of the Star Wars novel. Really great classic by George Lucas. Here we have a trio of Tarzan books from, I believe, the 1920s. Nice illustrations once again, and just really nice shelfies. Look great on a shelf as a trio. And then last but not least, Santa Claus makes an appearance from a 1957 book that this is a 1980s edition of that book, but wonderful 1950s graphics. Quite a few items have been added to the holiday shop at Duckwells, including these fantastic antique snow babies from pre-World War I Germany. Adorable little things, aren't they? I'm going to let you enjoy a song from my husband, The Bells of Christmas Day, while we go through some of the newer inventory in the holiday collection at Duckwells.
In the first light of the dawn, I heard the angels sing, singing songs of harmony for every living thing, bearing gifts that peace can only bring. In the first light of the dawn, some did not awake, dreaming of a shadow world they could never forsake, while the fire was burning in the lake. Rising up that wintry morn, the snow in silence fell, till the sun came out in glory, and the bells all rang with joy on Christmas Day. In the first light of the dawn, the stars by day appeared. Love had grown such sturdy roots, their presence was not feared. The music of the spears was everywhere. Rising up that wintry morn, the snow in silence fell, till the sun came out in glory, and the bells all rang with joy on Christmas Day. When fear no longer rules and anger is let go, when rivers flow no more to the sea, then love will reveal life's mystery. In the first light of the dawn, they laid their arms to rest. No one there would eat or drink till all could join the feast. From the cares of earth they were released. Rising up that wintry morn, the snow in silence fell, till the sun came out in glory, and the bells all rang with joy on Christmas Day. Rising up that wintry morn, the snow in silence fell, till the sun came out in glory,
I wanted to end this video by just reviewing a few of the latest editions of souvenir plates available at Duckwells, including this great Mohawk Trail plate. We have plates from mulberry and white, red and white, blue and white, brown and white, and some of the more modern mid-century plates. These collectible plates have been popular for over 100 years for great reason. One reason seems to be that they're just beautiful. If you look at some of the borders, they are so impressive. They were primarily made in England in the Staffordshire region, and the manufacturers are well represented here: Wedgwood, Adams Potteries, Royal Dalton, etc. And you can see we go up to the mid-century with some great, more modern looking plates. So I just think these make great decorative objects. They also make really thoughtful gifts to provide somebody with something unique and interesting. I highly recommend you take a peek at the plates collection at Duckwells. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Please check out duckwells.com for more vintage and antique treasures. Thanks again.